to Pixelated Geek's coverage of the Star Wars Battlefront trailer reveal event. So, alright, I guess let's start off just by giving a quick overview of what we saw in the trailer. So first and foremost, you might want to check the volume on that. Kill the volume. So first and foremost, I mean, I think my response is that it was short, and the event was short. It was supposed to be an hour of coverage. They didn't really talk about a whole lot, and the trailer itself was a little brief for my tastes. It looked good.
Plus the technical difficulty in the beginning.
Yeah, so it was hard to watch the trailer the first time, but we got it the second time. So they revealed during the coverage that the trailer is in-engine using in-game assets. Now, a trailer that's in-engine using in-game assets is great. It's better than the alternative, but it's not the same as gameplay. I think there was a heavy implication that we were going to see gameplay today.
Yeah.
And we didn't see gameplay. So that was disappointing in and of itself. That said, we know the assets are good. We know the engine's good. So, what were your initial impressions of...
Just that little clip that they showed originally was focus of a more lively battle. You had soldiers chat, like small dialogue bits.
Mm-hmm.
You had this emphasis on tactical versus just let's run at them and shoot, which was, we've got the AT-AT coming, let's take it out, or throw down the shield. Different things like that, which shows a little more squad focus, which is more in the battlefield focus.
Yeah.
So that just makes me wonder if there's going to be like a squad commander or overall commander.
And that speaks to one of the questions that we had: how much Battlefield are you getting in my Battlefront? So there was a deployable shield that a soldier dropped. So that indicates, I would think, if you're putting it in a trailer, that indicates deployable items.
Which the first two had as well, but...
Sure.
To a different degree.
That's just something that's very much in line with the Battlefield aesthetic. So that... we saw 3 different rebel soldiers. We saw like a human, we saw a Celestin, and we saw a Rhodian. So that's something that we can presume returns from Battlefront, is the different classes may have different... We didn't see any Wookiees. Better be Wookiees. So that there was only one, I think, shown version of a Stormtrooper. There may have been a Snowtrooper in the brief Hoth sequence. I may have missed it. But so we saw 3 planets confirmed as indoor opening sequence. Hoth, that was pretty obviously Hoth, right? I haven't actually heard them say that, but you don't not have the Battle of Hoth it's in like every Star Wars game. And then the third one was confirmed during the conference to be Sullust, where the Celestins, no one knows how to pronounce that, where they're from. It was like a rocky world in which we saw the Millennium Falcon. So, other things from the conference that were confirmed: hero characters. Vader's at the end of the trailer. They directly asked... Boba Fett is also in the trailer. Boba Fett. Yeah, that's huge. So, confirmed hero players.
First and third person.
Yeah, so that was something that we definitely wanted to talk about. So, confirmed third person camera, which... I have seen a lot of people say, I like first person shooters, and a lot of people say I like third person shooters. I think it's always good to cover all your bases. I think that's a great choice for them. And it will certainly make the Jedi stuff easier. We have seen no Jedis, and in as much as this takes place in the original trilogy, I guess Vader and Luke would be the only actual Force users. But I don't know that they've confirmed Luke.
Or others. So.
Or others. We just saw Vader. We saw a Sith, and that was it. So I'm trying to remember what else we saw. We did... So jetpacks, which were in Battlefront 2.
Which the Rebels had now.
Yeah. So Rebels with jetpacks. We saw the Plex, which is the anti-armor launcher that the little Celestin with the jetpack had. So implication there. We also saw Y-Wings on a bombing run. So, that's great. That's what I want. I want mixed. I want combined battles. And I want the opportunity to do that. Also, there's a sequence where you see TIE fighters launching from a bay on Sullust into air combat. So everything that we've seen thus far is in atmosphere. Now, Battlefront 2 had space battles.
But dedicated. You could board certain ships and things like that, depending on the level. But space fight was a space fight, and then you might have a little mix.
So I think this heavily implies that there will be mixed battles. Because I can't imagine that they'd introduce the Y-wing like as a, the equivalent of an airstrike or a bombing run in Call of Duty. Because that's just not the Battlefield way. That's just not what they do. What am I leaving out? What else did we need to cover?
Special DLC for free.
Yes. Okay, so that was something that was announced during it. In response to the query that we had before the trailer reveal, there will be a link, and this is how it was phrased. There will be a link to The Force Awakens. The way that they phrased it made it sound like it's not taking place during it. The battle, which is a DLC pack that comes to anyone that owns the game on December the 8th, and anyone that has pre-ordered the game on December the 1st, so that's 1 week bonus for pre-orders, gets Jakku. It gets the planet that The Force Awakens will take place on, and the battle that you are engaging in is the cause of the wreckage that we see on Jakku.
But we don't know how many years ahead of time, because that wreckage looked really old.
It looked really old.
Didn't look like a fresh crash.
No.
So.
And given that most of what we've seen, I mean, we know when the Battle of Hoth took place, and we know when the combat on Endor is supposed to be taking place. So we know that the time frame of the game is in and around Empire into Jedi. This is the point where I kind of want to bring this up. So what we just saw was a battle on Endor that Vader was present for. And that didn't happen. The Rebels didn't know about Endor at all. And when they found out about it, they sent one team, and that team attacked the shield generator, and there was a battle. Vader was in orbit. So, I'm not necessarily nitpicking. It's just, are we dealing with potentialities of like...
What ifs?
Yeah. Like...
Because, obviously Boba Fett was alive.
Yeah. And we saw Boba Fett. Right, exactly. And he wasn't... Then again, we don't know whether or not...
How they're going to treat that.
Yeah, we don't know what canon is anymore with regards to Boba Fett, in a real sense, so we don't know when that was. But so, it's... obviously, like, this is a multiplayer game, and, like, it's the idea of, like, young Obi-Wan running into, like, Darth Vader and, like, fighting, like, that's a cool idea. And I think that's what they're probably doing. They're just paying, like, what if? So that's neat. But I just thought that was interesting given the time, the setting of the game.
No mention of a single player.
Yes, which I think we both agree is great. Don't worry about a single player. Just make a multiplayer game. We don't care. Though, if they do the thing they did back in the day where it was just like a campaign where you just like...
The Galactic Conquest? Yeah. That'd be fun.
That's not... I don't mind that at all. I think that's a cool idea. Just don't, waste your time with trying to build like a massive cinematic experience. Because that's not what we want. We just... I want you to get in an X-Wing and shoot down a TIE Fighter. That's all
I want to get in a TIE Fighter and shoot down the X-Wing.
See, yeah, there we go. So, yeah, it looked great. But the trailer was too short and it wasn't gameplay. They did announce things that we need. We need that third-person mode. We definitely... I like the idea that it's taking place predominantly during the original Star Wars trilogy, because that's what we're all really in love with. I wish we had gotten more information. I wish we had gotten a longer trailer. Other than that, I'm okay.
I think they're holding off for E3.
Yeah. Yeah.
And since there's a presence with Sony here, will they be at Sony's, not Microsoft's? Or well, EA does their own.
Yeah,
so,
they do. That's a great point. I'm really glad you brought up the thing with Sony. So this basically looked like Sony presents Battlefront. And I think, I mean, over the last 2.5 years, Sony has courted DICE. Sony has gotten exclusive content or free content that PC and the other console had to A, wait to get, and B, pay to keep.
Right.
So I'm going to be interested to see how that works. Now, obviously, as we spoke about before, Battlefront is definitely a heavier console game than Battlefield is. I wonder how thoroughly that's going to affect the landscape. Especially given that EA Access is
Xbox One.
Xbox exclusive.
Yeah.
So that, I mean, there's not really much to say about that. That's just going to be a really interesting thing for everyone to keep their eyes on, how that's going to proceed from this point forward. So I think we covered the Third Planet Sullust is something that's existed in EU. It's been mentioned repeatedly. Obviously, it's a part of it. It'll be interesting to see that battle. I think it's cool that DICE is playing fan service and saying, like, yeah, we're going to do Hoth. Yeah, we're going to do Indoor. I think it'll be really exciting to see what they do with something they can just grab and run with. I think that's a really cool idea.
But I still would also like, not just the giant open maps, I'd still enjoy something kind of like when the Empire first boarded to get Leia, you know?
Yeah.
Corridor shooting with mass stormtroopers and rebels. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Because Battlefield always focuses on the big, but, you know, there was that map on Battlefield 3, the apartment one.
Metro.
No, the other one. It was a DLC one. It was like a penthouse. And it was
okay.
like close quarters, and by the first 5 minutes, everything was blown out. And I'd like to see some of that, too, though.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think, obviously, like, one of the cool things about Star Wars is that you have this massive scope to play with. And there are a lot of stories that can be told in that. And I think all of us, you know, want to get in the Falcon or, you know, a ship and, like, cruise around in it. But, you know, one of the most compelling sequences in A New Hope is that sequence where the stormtroopers are boarding the blockade runner. Like, I think what they need to do is give us just a really broad cross-section, or handle it kind of the way that Battlefield does with the scalable map types. You know, when you only have, like, you can do, like, 12 on 12 in a tiny aspect.
Yeah.
The way that Metro did, like, just the bottom level or the open level or all the way to the end. I'm really hoping we're going to see that. Because, yeah, there's a lot of really compelling different kind of stories that you can tell in a game like this. Additionally, I think that, Doug Chang. So one of the really exciting things about that, I wanted to see the DICE people talk. Okay, I did, because those are the people that are making the game, and it was really awesome to see how excited and dedicated they were. What actually made me feel a lot better is the fact that Doug Chang, who is a effects supervisor and concept designer for Lucasfilm, he's one of the people responsible for Star Wars looking like Star Wars. Is that he's so heavily involved with their process, because he's canon. Like, George Lucas' story and then Ralph McQuarrie and Doug Chang are what it looks like. They're the reason it looks the way that it looks. It's great to see that in a game.
And I don't know how many games he's been attached to, so...
I think he predominantly works in film and television.
So I'm thinking they just kind of have him here because it's such a big title for them. Plus, with the Frostbite engine, this is one of those engines where you can make the game look damn good.
Yeah.
And, you know...
Photorealistic. I mean, like, there are assets in that look every bit as good as a photo.
Right.
And that's really exciting. I can't think of anything else to talk about.
The 5 exclusive system bundles with the special box packaging.
Yeah, okay, so that was another thing they did. They gave away an exclusive PlayStation 4.
They gave 3 of them.
3 of them. There are 5 in existence. They gave away 3 of them.
2 will go out on Twitter.
Yeah. So you know, definitely run that down if you want it. The thing that I would like to talk about with that is what that means. So, partnership with Sony exclusive console at the event. do you think that means that we'll see Battlefront console bundles this Christmas?
Probably.
Yeah, I think so too. Because Disney, Lucasfilm invented marketing. I mean, one of the reasons that Star Wars is the empire it is because Lucas held on to merchandising rights. And that became an absolutely massive empire. When you combine that marketing empire with Disney, who does the same thing, right, maybe to a bigger degree, maybe the only people that do that to a bigger degree, you get the largest merchandising magnate empire ever.
Which I wouldn't be surprised because they got the exclusive Disney Infinity bundle, or the Marvel one, last year.
Yeah.
Or however long ago that came out. And they got the special one with the special base and all this other stuff and Hulk exclusive. So it would make sense that it's a Disney property. They're going to give it to Sony.
Yeah. So I think we're going to see, as a consequence, a massively marketed Battlefront. I think we're going to see exclusive consoles, and I think we're going to see just a ton of collector's editions. So, go get a second job, is what I'm saying. Because I know that we're going to, between the two of us, probably drop $1,000 on the different parts of this game. I would, and that's me being conservative about the estimate. That said, I think we've covered it all. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe. If you're watching it on Twitch, please subscribe. Yeah, that was the same thing. For JJ Crass, I'm James Honeycutt from Pixelated Geek. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.